to Ocean Springs, Singer River Hospital in Ocean Springs, man. 16 people on ventilators.
Yeah.
In the ICU, 12 in the surgical ICU, 3 more in the emergency room. I don't think a single one of them had been vaccinated. It's just disturbing to see it with your own eyes. But it's like child abuse and, foster children. Out of sight, out of mind. People don't want to have to think about it, and they need to think about it. I wish every single coastal Mississippian in Mississippi can go to an ICU and talk to those families and see the situation. It's just a tragedy that's unfolding every day in front of us. Anyway, Jimmy Rafferty, thank you for your leadership, and thanks for visiting with us here on Coast View today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Ricky, and stay safe.
Look forward to seeing you again soon. And when we come back, we'll have the mayor of the city of Pascagoula, Jay Willis. We'll see you after this break.
Listen live or on demand and watch episodes of Coast View on your laptop, desktop, or on your phone or tablet by going to supertalkmsgulfcoast.com.
Dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey South Mississippi, the future has arrived. It's 2021, and at J. Allen Toyota, we're here to serve you. Want to let you know that we have Allen's lifetime warranty on every new Toyota we sell. That also comes with Toyota Care. That's 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. We have a great rental department. Our service department's ready to take care of your current vehicle. We're rolling out J. Allen certified pre-owned for 2021. You got to come to I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport. You're going to love what we have to offer. When you think Toyota, think Allen Toyota.
What decisions are being made by state lawmakers, and how will they affect you, your family, and community? If you listen, you'll know. SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk app, and at supertalk.fl.
Hi, I'm Billy Kinder, host of Big Billy Kinder Outdoors here. The show Saturdays at 1, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi. Turkeys, whitetail, Grenada Lake crappie, or Gulfport redfish. We enjoy it all, especially when you're in camp with us on SuperTalk Mississippi.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking very hard-to-find PPE items to make our community a safer place. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. They were even sending thousands of dollars of PPE supplies free to local schools in need with help from other local business leaders. The next time your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider a local company that supports your ball teams, cheerleaders, and area homeless. Consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply, the local guys that keep your prices fair, your service and selection excellent, and your health our business. Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm. SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visit.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. talking to Paul Thorne, Mississippi true treasure, really incredible recording artist, singer, songwriter. Has been doing it a long time, doing it the right way.
It's almost like a Forrest Gump thing because, I was a boxer, / I worked in a furniture factory, / I had a gig 2 nights a week playing my acoustic guitar in a pizza restaurant, / I was in the National Guard. And,
wow.
All this stuff was going on at the same time. / I had a writing contract with Rick Hall and Fame.
In a Mississippi Minute.
Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show
on SuperTalk Mississippi.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi.
And now, it's Coast View with Ricky Mathews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome back to Coast View. I really enjoyed that conversation with Jimmy Rafferty, the mayor of Pass-Christian. Man, what a great career he's had. And he's leveraging all that experience to be a great mayor now for the city of Pass-Christian. Speaking of leveraging your history as a business person and, sort of a jack of all trades, the former dentist, Jay Willis, who's the new mayor of the city of Pass-Christian. But, you spent a year, you and I talked about this before, you spent years as a dentist and you were in the dental development business, and now you're the mayor of Pascagoula. How's it been?
Oh, it's been great. It all fits. I feel I was fully prepared for what I jumped into, and things have been great, Ricky. Thanks.
Well, I told you I'd be remiss if I didn't add to this. Your daughter is, I know her husband really well. I've gotten to know your grandkids through them, but they're very proud of you, and I can tell that you have an incredibly supportive family around you. For every great man, you're going to find an amazing woman and an amazing family behind them if they're successful. That's true of you too, isn't it?
Oh, it absolutely is, Ricky. And I know you understand that of all the things in our lives and all the hats we wear, being a father and a grandfather now is probably the most important thing that I do.
It really is. So let's talk for a second about Hurricane Ida. So here you are, a new mayor. You look south and you see this, this incredibly strong storm. Obviously off our shore, it was a Category 4 storm. All the models had it going in one direction, but we know from our history that it could always make that turn north. What was going through your head as you contemplated, you became the mayor of the city and that it might get challenged again? It probably was a moment of, please, Lord, don't let it hit us, but give me strength if it does.
A lot of that, and also being prepared in the event that it did. I grew up in Pascagoula. I was probably in 10th grade when Camille hit, and have some memories of the terrible devastation of Camille that we all had on the Gulf Coast, and then all of the storms from Camille to Katrina and from Katrina to Ida, just preparing in my mind. So how do I deal with this now that I'm mayor of the town? What are my responsibilities? What are the expectations? How can I use my leadership to help others in the community as we approach this? And so much of it really, I guess, depends on staying calm and being rational and using your best judgment and trying not to panic. Although, as we sat and watched the storm coming across the tip of Cuba, we knew it could be us. There was no question about it. It would, every day that it got closer, it was a little more obvious and a little more easing our minds that it appeared it was going to impact our friends in Louisiana directly and us indirectly.
So, we just talked about this just a few minutes ago with Jimmy Rafferty, but as a new mayor, you look around yourself and you see all these dedicated employees of the city who just sort of know what to do to prepare that city. That's got to give you a lot of pride, huh?
Oh, it's amazing. And, I can't say enough good things about our police department. They were there from the beginning, before the storm hit, through the storm, and through the flooding that we had on Monday. Our fire and rescue people, Chief Krebs, has just done an amazing job. And all the public works employees who left their homes and left their families and were there to maintain the functioning of the city of Pascagoula, because, things have to continue through a storm. And thanks to the hard work and dedication of all these people and others, we made it fine. We did okay.
And, to have a guy like you who's lived a life and then almost, obviously get paid as mayor, but it's almost like you decided to volunteer in a way, because as I mentioned the first time we met, they'd never pay you enough to do the job of mayor. There has to be more to it than that. There has to be a higher calling. But you do have that higher calling, and you then have the ability to express to them how much you appreciate their leadership, how much they appreciate them going beyond a call of duty. And sometimes just being there to pat them on the back and let them know that you notice their great work, it makes a lot of difference, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And it's a sense of satisfaction that I don't know that I could get from anywhere else. And I'm certainly enjoying it. And I feel blessed to have the opportunity to be mayor of Pascagoula at this particular time. I'm looking forward to the next 4 years.
So how any lingering effects as you analyze where you are today?
No, we really we dodged a bullet, and I know that everyone's saying that on the coast, but Pascagoula and Jackson County really in particular, we had significant thunderstorm bands and unbelievable rain coming in from the Gulf that were just devastating east of us in Hancock, Harrison County, of course, in addition to Louisiana. And then it sort of took a skip, and it was pounding Mobile and Pensacola hour after hour after hour while we were sitting on Sunday. In fact, we had neighbors over for dinner Sunday night. We did not lose power through the storm. And I hate to say a non-event, but we know it could have been terrible. It just wasn't for Pascagoula. Businesses did well. We had very few reports of damage to any business or residents in the city. Now, the flooding that was Monday morning, which was truly a perfect storm, as we had high tide, we had a storm surge, although not extreme, on top of the high tide that prevented the 8 to 10 inches of rain from clearing the ditches in the city. We had a lot of streets flooded, and it got into some homes and a few businesses, but nothing that was damaging. Most of that already has been repaired and cleaned up, and we're quickly getting back to normal.
Well, it's really good to hear that. Sean Tindell said on the show this week that he was almost reticent to use the word "dodged a bullet" because that was the term I used as well. He said we dodged the brunt, because if you had water in your house, and certainly Jackson County fared well. You had the tragedy in George County. What a tragedy to have a highway that was so used, such as that one, to have it washed out and people just driving off into this chasm.
It's just amazing to even imagine. It terrorizes me to think about the terror that those people must have experienced in the middle of the night, in the middle of the rain, all of a sudden the road beneath them disappearing and them plunging into the 20, 30-foot depth. It's just, it's a terrible, terrible thing.
What Sean Tindell said is that when you have such a widespread event like this, all this rain and the swelling of our creeks and rivers and potential tornadoes and all the things that come with a storm like this, even though we're on the outside of the core, the impact was still great here in coastal Mississippi in certain places. You just never know what place is going to get hit by more than the other. And the point that he made is, in a situation like this, no matter where you live, anywhere where it rained, you have to be careful. You have to drive careful. And one of the things he said is slow down. Everybody just needs to slow down because you just don't know where that next incident's going to happen. And we want everybody to survive these moments. But you're right. I mean, the terror in that moment there on that highway had to have been unbelievable. And, we'll hear more about that full story at some point. But, we're praying for the people who survived. I heard that some of their injuries are life-threatening. And hopefully that we can, they'll get beyond that and live a wonderful life. But what a terrible situation that was there in George County. Sure. Anything else you want to say on the hurricane before we shift gears?
Well, no, we just feel blessed. You're exactly right. It could happen anywhere. It could be a repeat of Katrina just as quickly on us as anywhere else across the coast. We hope it's never that way, but realistically, we know there's going to be another hurricane, and we know we're going to have to be preparing for those hurricanes as we face them. And just be calm and be prepared and do your best and hope for the best and pray for the best.
I think that's a great way to say it. Hey, when we get on the other side, I want to talk more about the pandemic. Your thoughts of you're a dentist. You've been in the medical field your entire career. Talk a little bit more about the vaccine and vaccine hesitancy. The work that Singing River Hospital and that leadership has been doing is just extraordinary. But anyway, when we come back on the other side, we'll continue our conversation with the mayor of the city of Pascagoula, Jay Willis.
You can also listen live to SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on your Amazon Alexa devices. Once you've enabled the skill, just say, Alexa, open SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi, your new home for the Ben Shapiro Show.
We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth.
The most electrifying national talk show on air today.
We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Ben Shapiro, brutally breaking down the issues of the day.
From politics to pop culture, we take a look at all of it. So don't miss out.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
SuperTalk Mississippi. Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth. When you want the truth. Simply because it might hurt some feelings. And nothing but the truth. Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We're talking to Del Berra. Take me back to growing up and what it was like in the household with a dad like Yogi Berra.
You know, we grew up with his funny sayings. You know, I remember Dad managing the Mets, and me, Larry, and Timmy are watching the game on TV. And all of a sudden, two streakers run out of the stands on TV, and the camera flips away from them. So when he gets home, me, Larry, and Timmy say, "Hey, Dad, those streakers, what were they, boys or girls? We need to know." And Dad looked us right in the eye and said, "I couldn't tell. They had bags over their heads."
In a Mississippi Minute.
Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast View with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. I have the mayor of the city of Pascagoula, Jay Willis, with me now. Jay, I wish people could join us during the breaks, because Kyle is a thinker, man. He's funny. he adds. That's why I like to. I'm having increasing times with Kyle on the air because it's just so much fun to visit with. But
Kyle needs to be
good.
On the air.
Say it again.
Kyle needs to be on the air.
Yeah, he needs to be on more often. That's for sure. I bring him in as much as I possibly can, but he's quite a great personality and such a wonderful support for me. So, hey, Mayor, coming back to you. I had this unbelievable experience recently visiting with critical care nurses and critical care teams at Singing River in Ocean Springs with Lee Bond. He joined me there. They went up to the ICU, spent some time in the emergency room. What I observed were some of the most dedicated critical care professionals I've ever seen in my life, and I'm a former paramedic from early in my life. Was going to be an emergency room physician and decided to change my career. Did an internship at the Sun Herald, and the rest is history. But what I observed was heart-wrenching and inspiring at the same time. But man, you're sitting there in Pascagoula with some unbelievable leadership at your local hospital.
Isn't it great to see what's happening at Singing River with all they've been through in the last 10, 15 years, and for Lee to be leading the hospital and all the workers and the citizens of the town. We totally rely on Singing River Hospital for health care here.
Yeah, it is sad to see. There were 16 people on ventilators in the ICU. There were 12 on ventilators in the surgical ICU. There were 3 on ventilators down in the emergency room and in their trauma rooms, waiting for rooms upstairs. It was just heart-wrenching what they're having to deal with. And I've said this many times, but it's sort of like child abuse. It's kind of hard to think about it. It's out of sight, out of mind. Most people, it's better for most people. But in this COVID moment, I wish that our medical professionals and what they're going through on a daily basis was not out of sight, out of mind. Because if I could take all of our listeners with me to show them what I saw, any of them who were hesitant to get a vaccine, they would turn around and get it within a minute.
Absolutely.
So you're a doctor. What's your view on this situation? Why did we have so much vaccine hesitancy?
I think it's a basic distrust of the government, which is very hard to overcome with all the trauma that the government has inflicted on society the last number of years, and just a distrust. And I really feel like that the only solution to this pandemic is vaccinations. And if people could just understand that they're choosing to get COVID if they choose not to get a vaccination, that perhaps that would make a difference. I don't know if anything will make a difference, Ricky. It's sad.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jay. Can you finish?
My perspective with this entire pandemic goes back to the early years of my dental practice. I had been out of dental school probably 6 or 8 years. We didn't wear masks. We didn't wear gloves. If you can imagine working in someone's mouth without gloves, that's the way I was trained in 1979, graduating from dental school at University Medical Center. And that was the standard of care. the thing that changed it was the AIDS epidemic. Because in 1984, 1985, all of a sudden this virus showed up that was extremely destroying many elements of our society and citizens. And you had to protect yourself and others. And all of a sudden we were wearing gloves, masks, eye protection in treating patients. And it was such a change. But at the time, it was such a terrible disease. And my analogy is, so many of the AIDS patients or the AIDS-prone patients back then were begging for anything they could possibly get from healthcare that would help prevent them from getting AIDS. The stories you heard of people showing up and saying, you know, whatever medication cocktail you have for me, whatever trial drug, please let me have it. I don't want to get this disease. And I look back at those years, 35, 36 years ago, and I wonder why it is that as a society, we don't feel the same seriousness and the need to have the same attitude of, oh my gosh, whatever it takes, let me have it. It doesn't matter if it's not FDA approved. Anything that might keep me or my family or my children or my grandchildren from getting this disease, give it to me. Let's have it. And it's just different. It's a different time.
Jay, I think the story on this virus, when it's all said and done, will be the role that social media played in spreading misinformation. So much misinformation. I think that's really the biggest story. The good news is a Kaiser study recently pointed out that about 30% of the people who have not gotten the vaccine could be convinced to get it. There's also a group in the teens that you're not going to change their mind. And we try to sort through those, because as long as there's a percentage of society that might change their mind and get the vaccine, I'm going to stay focused on trying to get the best information out there as I possibly can and turn them one at a time, because for every person we turn, it's a step in the right direction. And also I might add that it shouldn't take knowing someone who died to get you the vaccine. And hopefully we can continue to turn these numbers. But anyway, I appreciate you so much. And any final words before we get off? We got about a minute left.
No, everything's going good. We're hoping for the best with that we've hit the peak of the COVID pandemic, or this version, and are on our way down. I don't know if the down slope will be as quick as the up slope, but certainly hope it would be. One of the things I shared with Lee Bond is, as a dentist giving injections every day, all day long for 35 years, you run into a lot of people who are very fearful and absolutely cannot stand the thought of needles going into their body. And I think the media is doing such an injustice to the cause by continuing to show 15 or 20 images of needles in arms and thinking that's going to convince somebody to get the vaccine. It's doing just the opposite.
You know, sometimes it's that simple, just a fear of the needle that keeps people away from it. But think of the needles you'll get if you get COVID. That's the important thing to kind of point out here. Anyway, Jay Willis, the mayor of Pascagoula, thank you for your time. We look forward to talking to you again in the near future.
Thank you, Ricky. Great visiting with you.
You bet. Have a great day. And we'll see you later. We'll see you tomorrow.
Follow SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on Facebook. Facebook.com/SuperTalk MS Coast 103.1.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen.